one of the world's most glamorous film festivals has wrapped up. We got everything: marathon standing ovations, A-listers at every turn,
what the hell just happened?
and even interviews with some unexpected twists.
How do you know I'm not an alien?
So let's dive into the biggest and boldest highlights from this year's Venice Film Festival. The annual event kicked off on August 27th in Italy's floating city. From day one, the red carpet was packed with Hollywood's finest, A-listers, fashion icons, and endless flashbulbs. This year's jury? A mix of big-name filmmakers and actors, led by Sideways director Alexander Payne. He even had a very Venice moment, watching a restored 1920s silent film next to Francis Ford Coppola. I thought, I'm in heaven. This is heaven. The opening film was Paolo Sorrentino's La Grazia. It stars his longtime muse Tony Servillo as an Italian president torn between signing a controversial euthanasia bill and grieving his late wife. The story explores a tricky moral dilemma inspired by a real case, but the press screening still ended with long applause. Even festival director Alberto Barbera was impressed. It's a different Sorrentino from what we are used to, far less baroque and formalistic than the previous films he made. It's a very unexpected story. Sorrentino, Servillo, Anna Ferzetti, and Milvia Merigliano all looked thrilled on the red carpet. But Venice isn't all glamour. Real-world issues made their way in too. Just steps from the main venue, anti-war protesters gathered to spotlight Gaza. Some even called for the festival to disinvite stars like Gal Gadot and Gerard Butler. However, Barbera made it clear, the festival doesn't boycott artists or make political statements. On day 2, Yorgos Lanthimos made his big return to Venice with Bugonia. It was his first time back since Poor Things won the Golden Lion 2 years ago, and later took home 4 Oscars. The new film reunites him with his muse, Emma Stone. Inspired by the 2003 Korean sci-fi Save the Green Planet, it follows Stone as a powerful CEO kidnapped by 2 conspiracy diehards, Jesse Plemons and Aidan Delbise, who are convinced she's an alien plotting Earth's destruction. The role required the actress to shave her head, and she was totally fine with it.
It's the easiest thing that you just take the razor. It's like so much easier than any hairstyle.
She added that the film's themes feel uncomfortably close to real life.
There is so much that's happening that I think is reflective of this point in time in our world, and it's told in a way that I found really fascinating and moving and funny and up and alive.
And on the alien question, she's all in. Quoting Carl Sagan, Stone said it would be pretty narcissistic to think we're alone.
So yes, I'm coming out with it. I believe in aliens. Thank you.
The Italian audience loved it, and Bugonia scored a 6-minute standing ovation. The night also brought the premiere of Noah Baumbach's J. Kelly, starring George Clooney, Adam Sandler, Laura Dern, and Billy Crudup. In the Netflix film, Clooney plays an aging movie star and Sandler his weary manager. And judging by Venice's applausometer, it could be an early Oscar favorite. On the carpet, Sandler swapped his usual laid-back vibe for a sharp black tux and a white button-down, while his wife Jackie stunned in a strapless white gown. Their daughters, Sadie and Sunny, joined them too. Clooney walked with Amal, who turned just as many heads in her gown. Earlier in the day, the actor had skipped the press conference, leaving the moderator to explain.
George Clooney is not going to be here because he has a bad sinus infection. Okay.
Even movie stars get sick.
On day 3, Julia Roberts made her Venice Film Festival debut with Luca Guadagnino's After the Hunt, which received a 6-minute ovation. As the applause went on, Roberts wiped away tears, blew kisses to the crowd, and hugged her director and co-stars Iowa Debary and Andrew Garfield. In the movie, the actress plays Alma Olsen, a respected Ivy League professor haunted by her past after a colleague is accused of crossing a line with his student. Garfield plays Henrik Hank Gibson, the colleague of Robert's character, and Debary is Maggie Price, Alma's protege who comes forward with the allegation. The R-rated drama sparked immediate debate. At a heated press conference, reporters pressed Roberts about the film's message on Me Too and cancel culture. The actress pushed back, saying the goal wasn't controversy, but conversation.
That we're not making statements. We are portraying these people in this moment in time. I don't know about controversy per se, but we are challenging people to have conversation and to be excited by that or to be infuriated by that. It's up to you.
And the red carpet wasn't short on drama either. Monica Barbaro had a brief Marilyn Monroe moment when a gust of wind sent her Dior gown flying. The actress, who was there to support her boyfriend, posed solo on the carpet, letting Garfield shine as the star of the movie. But off the carpet, different story. The two were photographed holding hands as they arrived in Venice earlier that day. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein lit up Venice and scored a massive 13-minute standing ovation. Oscar Isaac, who plays the obsessed scientist, and Jacob Elordi, his monstrous creation, were both in tears as the applause kept rolling. The Gothic sci-fi epic reimagines Mary Shelley's 1818 classic. A brilliant man brings a creature to life, only to be destroyed by it. At 149 minutes and a $120 million budget, Netflix clearly wants some Oscar gold. For Del Toro, the project was deeply personal.
It's sort of a dream that was more than that. It's a religion. It was a religion for me since I was a kid.
Now that it's finished, the director joked,
now I'm in postpartum depression.
getting into character was no small feat for Elordi, who sometimes spent up to 10 hours in the makeup chair. There's so many different layers to the costume. When he's born, he's wearing nearly nothing. His chest is open and his head is high. Then, as he starts to experience pain as we do as a teenager, he starts to hunch his shoulders. And as an adult, he closes off. On the carpet, Isaac and Elordi were joined by Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, and Felix Kammerer. But not everything was smooth sailing. Elordi lingered on the carpet to chat with fans, sign autographs, and pose for selfies, something that didn't sit well with one of the festival's staff. Video shows the guard trying to stop him, but the actor pushed back.
I'm gonna take a picture right here. Whatever, tell me what to do.
Neither Jacob nor festival officials have commented yet, but it seems like a classic clash between celebrity charm and red carpet time management. Day 5 in Venice was all about bold choices and big conversations. The world premiere of The Wizard of the Kremlin put Jude Law in a role nobody saw coming, Vladimir Putin. Forget the Hollywood heartthrob. This was Law at his most daring. Surprisingly, the actor wasn't rattled by the challenge or any potential backlash.
I felt confident in the hands of Olivier and the script, and that this was a story that was going to be told intelligently and with nuance and consideration.
Jude added they weren't chasing shock value.
It's a character within a much broader story. We weren't trying to define anything about anyone.
The film is based on Giuliano de Empoli's best-selling book and centers on Vadim Baranov, a ruthless spin doctor played by Paul Dano, who helped smooth Putin's rise to power in the 90s. The character is inspired by real-life political strategist Vladislav Surkov.
I don't think you have to look for a positive, but I do think you have to be willing to discover the point of view of the character.
And with the ongoing Russia's 3-year war in Ukraine, the film feels chillingly relevant.
The film is very much about how modern politics, 21st century politics were invented. What's going on right now is not only terrifying, but it's even more terrifying by the fact that we haven't really found the answer.
The Wizard of the Kremlin marks the English-language debut of Olivier Assayas and co-stars Alicia Vikander, Tom Sturridge, and Jeffrey Wright. The premiere ended with a roaring 10-minute ovation, but the night wasn't done yet. Jim Jarmusch unveiled his latest Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. The carpet glowed with Kate Blanchett, Charlotte Rampling, Vicky Krieps, Mayim Bialik, Luca Sabat, and India Moore, though Adam Driver and Tom Waits were missing in action. The triptych film tells 3 interconnected stories about adult children, their distant parents, and their relationships with each other, set in the US, Dublin, and Paris.
I usually carry ideas around for a year or more, sometimes many years, before I finally write very fast in a number of weeks. I wrote this in like 3 weeks, and I don't know really where it comes from.
But he made one thing clear: the structure matters.
If you were to show one chapter without the others, I would be mortified, because I worked very, very hard with this structure.
Day 6 in Venice was packed with emotion and surprises. Mona Fastvold's The Testament of Anne Lee premiered to a roaring 15-minute standing ovation. The musical stars Amanda Seyfried as 18th century religious leader Anne Lee, who founded the Shakers, famous for ecstatic dancing, speaking in tongues, and later their minimalist furniture. Co-written with the brutalist filmmaker Brady Corbett. The film also features Thomasin McKenzie, Lewis Pullman, Stacey Martin, Tim Blake Nelson, and Christopher Abbott. The Shakers began in England in 1747 as an offshoot of the Quakers, before fleeing persecution and building a utopian community in New York. They believed in equality, celibacy, and Lee herself claimed to be the female incarnation of Christ. Fastvold admitted she grew up in a secular home, but Lee's radical vision still struck her. Not because I share her faith, but because I recognize in her a yearning for justice, transcendence, and communal grace. Her radical pursuit of a self-fashioned utopia speaks to the creative impulse at the heart of all artistic endeavor. The director also said she wanted to tell stories about women who truly changed history. Seyfried, who had to master a Northern English accent and sing live, praised the atmosphere on set.
It was such a joyous experience, especially the way it was led by Mona and the way we all felt almost like in the Shaker movement. We all had a job to do, and we all felt it felt very equal, it felt very community driven.
Venice also served up a little romance. Kaya Gerber and Lewis Pullman were spotted cozying up during a PDA-packed date night. The couple, who debuted on the red carpet together, first sparked dating rumors in January and haven't been shy since. The day's emotional peak came with the world premiere of The Smashing Machine, which ended with a 15-minute ovation and a teary-eyed Dwayne Johnson. Seated between co-star Emily Blunt and director Benny Safdie, Johnson openly wept as the crowd cheered, a moment some compared to Brendan Fraser's tearful Whale premiere 3 years ago. The film is a raw drama about real-life MMA fighter Mark Kerr, whose battles with addiction and self-doubt were as brutal as anything inside the cage. Johnson stars alongside Blunt, who plays Kerr's girlfriend Dawn Staples. Critics are already calling The Rock's performance his best yet, and some are even predicting his first Oscar nomination. But the actor admitted he wasn't sure he could handle such a vulnerable role. After countless action flicks, he began to question himself.
The truth is, I looked around a few years ago and I started to think, I shared this with these guys, is that, am I living my dream or am I living other people's dreams?
Blunt praised her longtime friend, saying, "I've always felt this about Dwayne. There's this well of life experience and pain, and struggle, and resilience, and mental fortitude and deep vulnerability that has never been given space to come out." Day 7 in Venice was peak fashion meets film. Sofia Coppola and Marc Jacobs hit the red carpet arm in arm for the premiere of their documentary, Marc by Sophia. The doc takes viewers behind the scenes of Jacobs' spring 2024 show, charting 12 weeks of prep while reflecting on his career highs, including his 16 years at Louis Vuitton.
Knowing that Sophia was doing this made the whole thing very comfortable for me and my team.
It also reflected on the luminary's 30-year friendship with the Oscar-winning filmmaker. I think it's always important for me to show something genuine, show the person that I love and their real side. Then came the adrenaline. Kathryn Bigelow's A House of Dynamite exploded onto the big screen with its world premiere. The nuclear disaster thriller, starring Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, Jared Harris, Anthony Ramos, Greta Lee, and more, earned an 11-minute ovation. At the press conference, Bigelow addressed the terrifying reality behind the film. Hopefully, the film is an invitation to decide what to do about all these weapons. My answer would be to initiate a reduction in the nuclear stockpile. How is annihilating the world a good defensive measure? Not to be outdone, Gus Van Sant delivered Dead Man's Wire. a darkly comic hostage thriller starring Bill Skarsgård, Dacre Montgomery, Myha'la, Coleman Domingo, and Al Pacino. It scored a 13.5-minute ovation. When the lights came up, Domingo raised Van Sant's hand like a prize fighter, declaring, "That's for you, Gus." The film, based on a true story, follows a disgraced real estate developer who kidnaps a banker, demanding $5 million and an apology. Van Sant noted its relevance hit harder than expected. The kinds of Luigi Mangione moments in our history happened right after we started. So, like halfway through prep, we realized, oh, there's things happening. And the election happened as well. Things are kind of dovetailing into our own project. Day 8 brought Venice's most emotional moment. The voice of Hind Rajab stunned the festival, breaking records with a 23-minute standing ovation. The audience stood in tears, waving Palestinian flags and chanting "Free Palestine." Directed by Tunisian filmmaker Kathryn Bigelow, the film tells the harrowing true story of 5-year-old Hind Rajab, killed during the early days of the Gaza war. The girl was trapped for hours in a car after an Israeli strike killed her relatives. On the phone with the Red Cross, her pleas were recorded. Those haunting words are used in the film. Hollywood heavyweights including Joaquin Phoenix, Rooney Mara, Brad Pitt, Alfonso Cuarón, and Jonathan Glazer came on board as executive producers. Phoenix and Mara joined the cast on the red carpet, holding a photo of Hind. And Joaquin also wore an Artists for Ceasefire pin. At the press conference, actress Saja Kalani delivered the most powerful line of the day.
Hind's story is about a child crying out, "Save me." And the real question is, how have we let a child beg for life? No one can live in peace while even one child is forced to plead for survival.
Now let's talk legends. The 92-year-old Kim Novak, star of Hitchcock's Vertigo, returned to Venice to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award and to support the premiere of the documentary Kim Novak's Vertigo.
I loved playing that role. She gave me sort of the courage to be perhaps more vocal about my feelings, more expressive.
Novak admitted she almost didn't come, saying, "I thought I could handle it, then I thought, no, I can't, I'm not physically strong enough. Then I heard my mother's voice from heaven and she said, just have fun and enjoy it." It was the right call. Earlier in the week, she received the Golden Lion Lifetime Achievement Award. Guillermo del Toro, who presented it, listed her most iconic films: Otto Preminger's The Man with the Golden Arm, Joshua Logan's Picnic, Pal Joey, and Belle, Book and Candle. Novak was the world's top box office star from 1958 to 1960, and even became the first woman to start her own production company before leaving Hollywood in 1966 to focus on painting.
But most impressive is the fact that she was capable of projecting frailty, power, mystery, to appear ethereal, attainable, immediate, dynamic, or mythic and phenomenal.
Venice also honored German filmmaker Werner Herzog with a Golden Lion for career achievement. Herzog, a director, producer, actor, voice actor, and writer, is one of the most influential figures in international auteur cinema and New German cinema. His new documentary, Ghost Elephants, about a herd surviving in Angola's remote highlands, was shown outside the main competition. Francis Ford Coppola called Herzog an unlimited phenomenon, working in every nook and corner of cinema while presenting the award.
I come here to praise Werner Herzog, and it's not enough to praise Werner Herzog. One must celebrate the fact that someone like he can actually exist.
The festival wrapped up with a glamorous closing ceremony, celebrating the best in the world of cinema. Kathryn Bigelow's The Voice of Hind Rajab was seen as the frontrunner for the Golden Lion, but instead walked away with the Silver Lion Grand Jury Prize.
I dedicate this award to the Palestinian Red Crescent and to all those who have risked everything to save lives in Gaza. They are real heroes.
The big surprise of the night? Jim Jarmusch's tender triptych, Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. It scored him his very first Golden Lion, a career milestone for the indie legend.
All of us here who make films, we're not motivated by competition. But this is It's something I truly appreciate, this unexpected honor.
Benny Safdie nabbed Best Director for The Smashing Machine, his first solo feature without brother Josh, and Dwayne Johnson's first big swing as a dramatic actor. Chinese star Jin Jilei won Best Actress for her heartbreaking role in Tsai Shang-jun's The Sun Rises on Us All. And Best Actor went to Italian great Tony Servillo for his moving, witty performance as the President of Italy in Paolo Sorrentino's La Grazia. Venice has often set the stage for Oscar glory. Remember Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, and Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. This year, all eyes are on Dwayne Johnson as the one to watch. And that's a wrap on this year's festival. What was your favorite moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, stay awesome.